I want to thank everyone for coming to my show tonight. If you have any questions for my next show, please feel free to ask down below. I really appreciate everyone who stops by and watches my videos. Hi, welcome to Talk to Tony, Episode 2, October 1st, 2018. First of all, I'm going to start off with a little story from my mother. And I'm kind of surprised over what she had told me. Just sit back and kind of listen to it. I had a really, I was blown away, okay? Just put it that way. My mom telling me stories like this. So enjoy my show. My daughter's in there with her, Amanda, sitting on the right side of her. We were at Tamaki and Marquette, Michigan, eating a delicious General's chicken meal if you ever want to get one, if you're in the area. But anyway, this is my mom telling stories from when I was a baby, and she was in Chicago. So, and some other stories too, I believe I can get out of her. So just sit back, enjoy the show, and don't freak out too much, okay? Okay, enough said. Let's just enjoy. Okay, take it away, Mom.
In Chicago Heights, it was all the mafia thing, and anyway, Dad and I were on our way. You know, what are you looking at?
Go ahead.
Dad and I were on our way, and all of a sudden we had the radio on. Another building just got blown up, you know, and I says, Dad says, maybe we shouldn't go. I says, well, let's try it anyway. If we don't like it, we'll just leave. And so we got there, and they were the nicest people. But this one guy was helping. As Dad, he says, would you help me move some stuff? And he was putting typewriters in there. He was still in them, and Dad didn't know. And he could have been put in jail and everything else. But and then that one big guy, you know, Black Mike, you know, he says, do you know what that guy's doing? And I said, no. He says, he's stealing those typewriters, you know.
Typewriters.
But they were all criminals, you know, but they were...
So you hung out with criminals, Grandma?
Yeah, always.
Oh my goodness.
But it was just, I mean, and they really loved Tony and Teresa. Oh my goodness, we stayed at that guy's house. I don't know if you remember that or not. But,
Well, how old was I?
well, you were 3.
No, of course I remember that.
But anyway, he was so nice. He was one of the head ones of the mafia.
Black Mike was the head one of the mafia?
Yeah.
Who is Black Mike?
Oh, Black Mike was another one. Yeah, Black Mike was, they call him Black Mike. And the other one was Sam.
There's always a Sam in the mafia.
There was a Sam, you know, he's in his wheelchair, but he got his gun underneath the wheelchair. And everybody had a gun on him, you know, except for Dad and I, we didn't have a gun.
Did you feel scared in there?
But we felt so safe there.
I would feel safer on the mafia.
And they said, if anybody ever bothers you, just give us a look. And I did. I gave him a look, and they took the guy and put him out. He comes back in, and he says, you're so beautiful, and everything. I said, get out of here. And they put him out, and either they killed him or not, what, but he never came back.
Yeah, he never came back. They don't know. I'd like to hang out with the mafia back in the day.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
But that was the most, we just, oh, there it comes. Oh, my goodness.
What, a regular general?
Whoa.
Our agent says, how about going over to England? I says, no, I want to stay in the United States. But how about up there in Alaska? No. It was awful. How about Las Vegas? They want you. It was, I used to be so bashful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't tell.
But I used to be embarrassed. Or else they have a big movie thing and they'd be, Betty Hammond's here. And I used to hide until I got up on the stage. Where'd I hide?
Yeah. How'd you hide?
Well, I'd put sunglasses on and then I'd pretend I was someone else. then when it was time for me to get up on the stage, then they said, oh, that was you. And I was getting my hair done one time. And these three women, they were under the dryer and they were talking. I heard Betty Hammond and I thought, oh, this was a beauty babe. And I thought, wow. And they ran me down like crazy. I mean, they didn't know who I was. I was sitting right there. And by the time they got done, I mean, I couldn't wait to get out of there. And
You didn't say anything to them?
no, I was too embarrassed.
Okay, Mom.
His name was, he had a program called Darby 06. It was a children's program. And so we were on March of Dimes, and someone got $300 for me to dance with Darby 06. And we did. We danced together, and then all of a sudden, the next day, the guy that was the head of the TV station came over to me while I was on a break, and he said, what did you do last night? And I said, I didn't do anything. They said, the whole town is up in an uproar. That poor Darby 06 was dancing with that woman. He was so, he was, I said, well, someone had $300 for him to dance with me. I was pregnant with Tony, and there was Dr. Schrader was there, there was another doctor, there was about 3 doctors there. They said, just in case I start having labor, because I was a whole month late for him, but I was still playing drums, and so they came and sat there and waited in case if I needed help,
That's very nice.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tony Hamalainen. I am with All Classic Drum Covers, and I'm going to be talking about Evan today. Evan is one of my, I'm a mentor in the Young Drummers Mentor Program that I created a few years ago. This is a local person I've been dealing with, and he only lives about 60 miles from me. And I work with the student of a teacher. What I'm about to show you right now is a little clip from, he was invited up on the stage there because he learned so much from his teacher. And of course I did some help on the side with posture and other techniques that a drummer should know, but I'm not qualified to teach like his instructor was. His instructor is a very good instructor, which brought him pretty far. And I'm really pleased with his outcome on his instructor. As a mentor, we encourage the students to better themselves and to get into the timing and stuff like that. We don't interfere with the training of the instructor. But what I'm about to show you right now is a little clip from Evan when he played up at Escanaba with some of the instructors that do work at Jim's Music. And I would like for you to take a look at it. And Evan, you did a great job, and your dad should be really proud of you. I was really proud of you when I was on stage watching you. The band was amazing, and you were amazing too. So rock on, and I hope that you do well and continue to grow in your drumming. Thank you very much, people, for your interest in All Classic Drum Covers.
I'm going to try something a little different this time, though. But to change things up.
Hey, Evan. Do it. Good job, man.
Funny you said we're playing voodoo right now. That's what we're doing. It's crazy. We're gonna feel it out. We're gonna try to make it work. Seriously, when you get famous, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. You're gonna need opening act at one point in your life. Just saying. I want that.
What do you feel about your son, huh?
That was
Awesome, man!
Yeah, Evan's awesome. Hey, welcome to another episode of Talk to Tony. This is episode number 2, October 1st, 2018. Today I'm going to be talking about calibrating your internal timing. And this is what I've learned on my own. I am not an instructor. I am not qualified to say that this is the proper way of doing it, but this is what worked for me. And if you want to try it out, I would suggest give it a shot. And but please understand that I'm not here to say that this is the way you have to do it. I'm only saying it only worked for me. And it's stuff that I learned on my own throughout the years of playing drums. Mainly the last few years on YouTube when I was getting criticism, constructive criticism, which I did ask for. And I did show that video before. I can't find it right now. I'm not going to go through all the videos, but I did ask for constructive criticism a few years ago because I was really rusty, and I haven't played for like over 10 years. You know, like Bobby Threet, one of our amazing guys who's taken the top 5. But anyway, I was horribly rusty, and my drumming was just way off. My downbeats, my backbeats, my crashes on ones were way off. I was thinking, what do I have to do to make this better? Because I was getting this constructive criticism, which was really helping. And you have to understand that constructive criticism is the best way to become a better drummer out there. If you're afraid of the hey, Makwa, how you doing? He's going to join me, I guess. If you are afraid of the constructive criticism, then there's a problem with you getting better. You have to learn how to accept that stuff. There's one thing that I do want to teach you right now is you have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, let's start from the beginning. You're learning how to play the drums, but you want to get better at, your timing. Well, there's 2 parts of your timing, if you didn't understand. There's about how timing works. You have your pattern on your left and right hand side. One is imagining what it would be, and the other is thinking how it's going to sound. So we have to make those 2 work together along with our movements. That is our internal timing. So how do we improve our internal timing? I was thinking, when I was getting this constructive criticism, I was thinking, how could I go from being such a really good drummer to a drummer who has a hard time with his timing and everything sound choppy? Well, I was thinking. Well, throughout the years since I was born, I remember that my mom had told me that she carried me on the stage till the day I was born. I mean, she went into labor on the stage. Throughout the 9 months of her being pregnant with me, she would play the drums, bounce up and down. I mean, her timing was very good. And that got me thinking, of our internal timing, of how we can train our timing. And going back to that of 9 months of listening to a human metronome who had a really good timing. So it got me thinking, what if I reinvented being in the womb with a timing machine? So it got me thinking. It got me thinking how to reinvent that human internal timing training machine. So what do you think I did? I took a metronome and I started it at the lowest number on the tempo, and I listened to it during the day in my earpiece. Wouldn't take it out, just let it play all day long. And then I started sleeping with it all night long at the same speed I started with that same day. I didn't change any speed at all. I just kept it the same all day. So I knew what that speed sounded like. It just was implanted in my head. The next day I did the same thing, but I cranked it up 1 more. Okay, I kept on going till I got to the end. And when I went back to my drums and I started playing, I still was a little choppy. I was thinking, man, maybe this isn't going to work. So I tried it again, But let me say something. It was a little choppy, but it was less choppy than it was before I had been calibrating. So during the process of trying to test my drumming skills to my calibration throughout, every other day that I've been listening to the metronome, I found out throughout the weeks that I was doing this, my internal timing was getting better. But there was still a problem because it was a little bit choppy, and sometimes my ones weren't hitting right, and my rolls would get me from my straight beat into a little bit of a beat that was choppy because, you know, a lot of drummers, when they do a roll and they come out of the roll, their timing isn't perfect right there, and that's where the problems usually arise, and they start speeding. So I wanted to make sure that when my movements would work along with my brain. So we have that two-part timing mechanism, and it's our brain and it's our movements. And in our brain, we have the right and left hemisphere, and one side is the thinking process, the other side is the imaginary process. So what do we do? Are we supposed to think when we're playing the drums? No. We want to feel with it. So we want to use the imaginary process of where that, if you're listening to, say, a shuffle or anything like that, and you got your ghost notes and stuff, you're imagining that stuff, and you're feeling it instead of thinking about it. So we want to get our internal timing working perfectly with our imaginary side and our movements, and the timing to be like we were in an incubator, you know, throughout the months. It took months to calibrate myself to where I want to be, and I still want to be better. My drum covers aren't perfect. Yeah, I make mistakes, but my timing has really improved because I calibrated. Richard Stewart said at one time in one of the live comments when he's seen my video, he says, Tony is the most progressed drummer on YouTube, which meaning that I had became a better drummer a lot faster and more, you know, from where I was to where I am now. It doesn't mean I'm better than some of you guys out there. It just means that I progressed quite a bit since I started. And that's because I used the my internal metronome incubator that I created. So if you guys try this, and it's not going to happen overnight. You just don't put the metronome on, you listen to it overnight, and go back and you play, and you're going to be perfect. No, it's going to take some time, because you gotta train it. If you don't train it, you know what I mean. It's constant redoing it over and over and over. Repetitive. It's repetitive action when you train. And you got to train your movements, which is your body, with the metronome, along with your imaginary side of your brain. Now, I know a lot of you guys read music, and I really appreciate that. I wish I could. I want to learn. And I bow down to you guys, because I think that you know a lot more than I do. And I don't want to step on anyone's foot here. I'm just telling you what I have learned throughout my time of drumming, since actually before I was born, you know, because I was learning in my mom's womb for 9 months while she played the drums, like I said earlier. And, you know, I would always be around her when she was playing drums. I mean, I had that metronome going on. I was always bouncing with the music, and it was there, until I was in the bands and stuff like that. But then when I was sick, for over 10 years, I didn't play drums. I gave it up. I couldn't. I was weak, and I lost everything. I was like a guy starting all over again. And I was like, how am I going to get there? How am I going to get there again? How am I going to get there again? And that's when I thought of the process of the human incubator metronome. So I hope that you found this educational. And like I said earlier, I am not a trained professional. I'm only telling you what has worked for me, and I hope that it works for you. I would like to hear about it. If you guys have done this before in the past, I would like to hear your stories. And if you want to share them live, or not live, because I don't go live. If you want to share them on my next show, Talk to Tony in November, send me a video of your experience, and I'll put it in my show. And I'm going to have some question and answers coming up here in a little bit. I want to thank you all for coming to my show and listening to what I had to say about the calibrating your internal timing. Rock on. Let's have some fun. Let's do some question and answers. All right. See ya. All right. All Classic Drum Covers is proud to announce 3 communities out there that we recommend you guys go into. All right. The 3 communities that we recommend is Zax Drum Covers, and I'll have the links down below in this video here. But Zax Drum Covers has an awesome community. We have Drummer's Guide to Drums. That's a brand new community that we highly suggest you go become a member, and they're going to start putting out some videos and stuff like that and restorations of both drums and stuff like that, so I thought was pretty cool. And the third drum community, which we highly recommend if you want to do battles in, and this is one of the greatest communities out there that also interact like All Classic Drum Covers, and they are called the Drummer's Den. And I'll have that also down below there too. So don't forget to check out these 3 awesome communities. Hi, I got a question from Aeromed KJ. I can't say his name properly. I wish I could. He wants to know how to better your left-handed drumming. So if you're left-handed, you're drumming the opposite of a right-handed drummer. I guess repetitive action would be the key to better enhance your left-hand drumming, and I would use a practice with a metronome on a repetitive action of your left hand. I think that's about the best way you're going to be able to improve it. I'm sure there's other drummers out there that can answer that question a lot better. I am not an expert in that field. I've never actually tried the left-handed drumming, so I really can't answer that question, but I feel that repetitive action would be the key to do it. Thank you. Okay, Steve the Drummer, thank you for asking this question. You had asked, do you have any tips to give new drummers to start a YouTube channel, and what's the best way to get a good YouTube channel on YouTube? You know, how to create a great channel. From my experience for the last 3 years, and I started the YouTube channel, it was like, you know, it was hard to find out what I wanted to make this YouTube channel work. What kind of material did I want to put out there? So I was experimenting with all kinds of you know, different effects and different things like that, and some people didn't like it, a lot of people didn't like it, a lot of people just liked the regular stuff. So there's a lot of experiments in there and stuff like that, and then you watch other people's drum covers and you get some ideas and you want to throw some of that stuff into your stuff. But what I think the best tip I would give somebody on how to start a YouTube channel is to be yourself. Because if you're yourself, people will see that. And if you try to be somebody else, people are going to notice that and they'll see that you're fake. So always be yourself. Who cares about mistakes? Who cares about you don't hit on one? So what? I didn't either for a long time, and I had a lot of problems with that. And I had explained that earlier in the show about the 10 years that I was off. So we all have these areas that you know, are bad in our life that we don't play well. But the thing of it is we shouldn't be ashamed of that when we start a YouTube channel. Don't be afraid of criticism. I found that criticism is my best tool that I have. Who cares if someone doesn't like your video or your drumming? You know, who cares? If they tell you, are they honest or are they just jealous? Who cares? The thing of it is you got to be proud of what you're doing. And if you're not, then you got to change your tune-up and you got to start doing something different. Let me get to the second question here, part of your question, Steve. The second part of your question was a great way to make a great channel. And it goes along with the first part is be yourself, but the second part is also, I've been learning recently, and I'm still not fully doing it, but you want to create some good like your pictures, the ones that people see when they want to click on your video. you want your cover picture to be looking good. You also want your audio to be really good in your music. You want studio quality if you can get there. I've seen some drummers doing camera only and getting pretty close to studio drumming, so it's possible that you can actually do that. Also, just try to be kind of creative, but don't over create it. You know, you want to be creative, but yet you want to keep the interest in the people that you're being creative with. If you're a drummer, I would suggest that if you're going to be playing a cover, you want to keep it in the pocket. Definitely, if you want a good channel and you want people to keep coming back, you want to be playing like some, you know, like Neil Peart on a slow song. You want to play like Ringo Starr on a slow song and Neil on a fast song, or whoever you're portraying. But the thing of it is you only accompany what's needed in the music because you want to hear in between the beats, and people will keep coming back when they see that you can perform like that. And also, you know, it doesn't hurt to give a little bit of energy into your drum covers. Try to loosen up and just let it happen. Don't be so tight on the drums. So making a good YouTube channel, you have all those aspects involved where people will want to come back and see it again because you're putting into your covers feeling and emotion and your aggressiveness with a lot of energy. I think that people would want to keep coming back and watching that. And the nice thing about it is you'll get the same people coming back and leaving those nice comments, and you'll notice that your channel will start growing. And sometimes you will lose subscribers. Who cares? Let them go. But anyway, those are some tips on creating a good YouTube channel. I'm sure there's other people that have way better ideas because I'm still learning. And but thank you, Steve, for those questions. I really appreciate it. Hey, Zax Drum Covers. He had asked a question, do I have motivation all the time? Do I have times where I don't have motivation? And do I have motivation to make videos all the time? And the answer is, of course, I have motivation problems. There's times that I don't even feel like playing drums because my back is killing me and I'm feeling sick inside. There are those times. I just don't have the motivation. Sometimes I'll feel better. There's, you know, and sometimes some weeks are better than the other ones, so I can throw some more covers in. But my motivation deteriorates more in the winter time, it seems, because I don't get enough exercise like I do in the summertime, because I'll take walks in the summertime because my doctor told me to take walks. It's good for me. But anyway, when I take my walks, I feel more energy. And when I don't take walks, it's really cold outside, I kind of get leggy. So I think more in the winter time is when I'm more quiet on the drums and I don't have that much motivation. Motivation to make videos sometimes is gone too, because it's just so much hard work and you really don't want to sit there in front of a computer all day long and you just like, oh my God, I just don't feel like doing it. Yeah, I have those motivation problems. What do I do to get out of those motivation problems is, it's psyching yourself out. You got to psych yourself out to get on them drums. You got to force yourself to play. And if you keep doing that every day, I think that you can improve your motivation of getting on those drums and making videos, because you're actually exercising. But the thing of it is when you stop doing another exercise that keeps you motivated and keeps you going with this, you kind of lose your motivation in everything. And when the sun starts going down and starts getting cold out, that's when the motivation is lost in me. So yeah, there's times. And thank you, Zax, for that question. I really appreciate it. I want to thank everyone for coming to my show tonight. Those were the questions I was asked. If you have any questions for my next show, please feel free to ask down below. I really appreciate everyone who stops by and watches my videos, and I hope you enjoyed my mother at the beginning of the show. So let's just rock on. Let's make drum covers. Let's have fun out there. Let's don't worry about any negativity or any bad things or people disliking your videos. Who cares? Let's just have fun. People are jealous, but rock on, rock on, man.
Classic drum covers.